The town of Elmbridge had a charm that felt like a postcard: tree-lined streets, brick cottages, kids riding bicycles with streamers, and a bakery that always smelled like cinnamon. But behind the white fences and freshly trimmed lawns, secrets festered like mold beneath a coat of paint. Maya Caldwell moved to Elmbridge after a whirlwind romance with Daniel. He was older, charming, owned half the real estate in town, and made everyone feel like they mattered when he smiled. To an outsider, Daniel was the picture of success, a community leader, donor, and loving husband. But Maya knew the truth. She just couldn't prove it. Not yet. It started small. The first time he grabbed her wrist, she'd been laughing too loud at a dinner party. His grip was tight, firm, and cold. His smile didn't fade in front of their friends, but his whisper in her ear did. "Don't embarrass me again." She didn't. Not for a long time. Soon it wasn't just her laugh. It was how she dressed, where she went, who she called, how long she spent in the grocery store. He'd text her nonstop when she was out. "Are you almost done? Who are you with? You think I'm stupid?" Daniel never hit her where it showed. Never left marks where a neighbor might notice. Instead, he hollowed her out slowly, like rotten wood, quiet and invisible. And Elmbridge looked the other way. Maya tried to leave once. She packed a small bag with cash she'd hidden in a tampon box and snuck out at 2 a.m. She made it to the end of their driveway before the motion sensor light turned on, and Daniel's voice echoed behind her. "Going somewhere, sweetheart?" She froze. Her keys fell from her hand. He smiled. "You know how this looks? A wife sneaking out of her husband's home in the middle of the night? Don't worry. I won't call the cops. Yet." She stepped back inside. The next morning, her phone and laptop were gone. The turning point came 2 months later. Maya volunteered at the Elmbridge Public Library twice a week. It was the only place Daniel didn't monitor closely. After all, what could she do in a building full of dusty books? But Maya had a plan. For weeks, she studied legal self-help books. She learned about emotional abuse, how courts often dismissed it, and what kind of evidence did make them listen. She read about covert recording, gaslighting, power dynamics, and the cycle of control. She checked out books using the self-service machine to avoid librarians noticing the patterns. She also found an old library laptop in the back storage closet, rarely used and almost forgotten. It didn't have Wi-Fi. But it had WordPad. And every week, Maya wrote. She typed out dates, incidents, what he said, what she felt, times, locations, injuries. She wrote it all, then saved it to a flash drive she hid inside the spine of a hollowed-out paperback. By the time spring came, she had over 120 pages. But it still wasn't enough. Elmbridge didn't believe women like Maya. Especially not when the man in question had donated money to the mayor's campaign and funded the new wing of the local hospital. She needed more than words. And fate gave her a chance. Daniel had grown careless. One night, during a fundraiser gala at their home, he drank more than usual. Maya said something he didn't like, something about a joke he made in front of the mayor's wife, and his smile turned glassy. He leaned in and whispered through clenched teeth, "You're going to pay for that later." What he didn't know was that Maya had tucked a tiny voice recorder under the lace lining of her dress, something she bought online and activated with a pin-sized button. That night, after guests left, he snapped. The recorder caught it all. The threats. The slurs. The moment he smashed a glass against the fireplace. The way he cornered her, growling, "If you leave me, I'll ruin your life." She said nothing. But she pressed stop. 2 days later, Maya made her move. She went to the one place Daniel would never expect, the Elmbridge High School, where she volunteered occasionally. She asked to speak to the principal, Mrs. Holloway, an older woman with a sharp sense of justice and a granddaughter Maya once tutored. Maya handed her the recorder. And the flash drive. Mrs. Holloway listened. She didn't speak. When the recordings ended, she simply stood up, walked to her office phone, and dialed. Within 24 hours, the town that once ignored Maya's pain erupted. Daniel Caldwell was arrested. Not just for domestic abuse, but for evidence tampering, obstruction, and financial fraud uncovered during the investigation. Turns out, his need for control extended to more than just his wife. He'd been embezzling from tenants, forging property contracts, and silencing complaints with hush money. Elmbridge was stunned. Neighbors apologized to Maya. Strangers offered support. Women she didn't know whispered, "Me too," as they passed her in the street. Today, Maya runs a nonprofit called Echo House, a shelter and resource center for women escaping invisible abuse. She doesn't tell her full story often. But when she does, she ends with this: "I didn't scream. I didn't fight with fists. I fought with facts. I gathered every quiet piece of truth until it roared."